When the life force in the body stirs, the various organs of thought, word and deed perform their functions. They flow towards their objects of perception in accordance with the deluded notions that prevail in the mind. This life force perceives diverse forms within the self. Since this perception seems to be of an enduring nature, it is known as the waking state. So we're talking in terms of this life force again. And we're getting this belief system creeping in to do with pranayama, this Hindu yogic practice. And I suggested earlier that life force could be understood as the attention, what the attention is getting directed to, and what motivates the attention to get involved with one thing rather than another. But when the life force, jiva-cetana, is not thus diverted by the mind and body, it remains rooted in peace within the heart. And that's when the attention is resting in itself. It's awareness resting in itself. And that's when you get peace within the heart. There is no movement of consciousness in the nerves of the body, nor does the life force activate the senses. However, that consciousness which is awake even in deep sleep, and which is also the light that shines in waking and dreaming, is the transcendental consciousness of Turiya. Now we're getting caught up in mental training, in training the breath. We're getting caught up in what might be called altered states of consciousness. And it's suggesting here that there's a light that shines in waking and dreaming and deep sleep, even in deep sleep. Now we've got us here. It seems to be that waking, dreaming and deep sleep are being taken at face value here, whereas previously it's been spelled out that waking is the idea of a world appearance, and dreaming is the notion of an ego, and deep sleep is the thought stream. But here there seems to be this idea that you can attain a state of consciousness which somehow transcends actual waking, dreaming and deep sleep. And there's a fourth state which is the meaning of the word Turiya, transcendental consciousness. So it seems to be, we're talking about here what you might call a higher state of consciousness. And it seems that it might be possible to dwell in this higher state of consciousness and and have that awareness even when you're fast asleep. This is what so-called sleep yoga is about. And you can go with that if you want. It talks about transcendental consciousness here. There's only consciousness. If there are any altered states of consciousness, what that means is consciousness which has forgotten itself, consciousness which has diverted itself from itself. There might be a state which somehow transcends all these other states, and if you want to go for that, well, good luck to you. But the core message of the Yoga Vasistha is consciousness, not transcendental consciousness, simply consciousness. And that's what we're concerned with here. But we do get this stuff creeping in about pranayama, and this Turiya, this fourth state, is apparently arises when you manage to halt the breathing. You can train your breathing, and apparently yogis can do this. They can actually transcend the in-breath and the out-breath so that the breathing stops altogether. There seems to be some evidence for that, and if you want to do that sort of thing, then why not? But I don't think that's what the Yoga Vasistha is about. Because here you come out of it. This last paragraph talks about coming out of this transcendental consciousness. When again the seeds of ignorance and delusion expand, there arises the first thought, which is the thought I am. Then one perceives thought forms within the mind in dreams. At this time the external sense organs do not function, but the inner senses function, and there is perception within oneself. This is the dream state. When the life force again activates the sense organs, once again there is wakefulness. And here we are once again at the Hindu Triloka doctrine. There's this idea of pure consciousness condensing, if you like, into thought forms, imagination or dream state, and then into the physical, into physicality and notions of a body. It's quite a nice way of looking at things, but that's all it is. That's a way of looking at things. I think Vasistha backs that up in the next chapter. Vasistha continued. I have described the states of the mind just to enable you to understand the nature of the mind. It has no other use. For mind takes on the form of that which it intensely contemplates. Existence, non-existence, gaining and renouncing, all these are no more than moods of the mind. So you don't give up anything, you don't train anything, you don't get caught up in ideas about things. These are all just moods of the mind, and we can step aside from it.